Are you a busy mom in business who's working mostly from home? Tired of seeing lots of other mamas online crushing it and wondering how they juggle kids, school, camps, lunches, dinner, and all of that other stuff? Well, then you're in the right place. Welcome to the Audacious Mamas Show. Here's your host and one of the most audacious mamas around, Steph Roberts.
Welcome to the Audacious Mama Show. I'm your host, Steph Roberts. First, just want to apologize for that sound outside my window. It's a tree company and they're not leaving anytime soon. Got to get this done. So on with the show. Today, I have something really unusual, but I'm excited to share this with you because this is something that I believe in. It's made a big difference in my life and opened me up to more prosperity, more business, more clients, more happiness, more balance, all kinds of more, and less of the junk that's holding me back. So today I'm talking to, she is a business and life medium, psychic medium. So that sounds really crazy, but she has about a 20 plus year track record in finance. And she figured out that she had this talent, this intuition. And whether you believe it or not, it's actually been incredibly helpful for her. She's doing really well with her own business. And now she coaches and works with people as a medium, a business medium, and helps you figure out what that next thing is that you should maybe be focusing on, tuning into, to move your business forward, to get rid of those money blocks and things that maybe are holding you back. And so I had a really fun Facebook Live interview with her, and you can hear her story about how she became a very young mom and entrepreneur and how driven she was to kind of succeed. It's incredibly inspiring. I think she just has an exceptional story. So just that alone is amazing. But then if you keep tuning in and you listen to the whole thing, there's a kind of back and forth, some questions from the audience, and you can kind of see Amber in action, helping people kind of figure out what they should be tapping into to grow their business and increase their income and prosperity. So please, hopefully this has piqued your curiosity and you're interested. You'll tune in and continue listening and share this with your friends. Please rate and review. That certainly helps the podcast. And I just want to thank you for tuning in today. All right, I hope you enjoy this. Without further ado, here she is, Audacious Mama, Amber Annette.
Hello, we are live. Awesome.
Clapping for technology and for you, Amber. So I'm Steph Roberts. I'm a digital media strategist, and I have 2 podcasts. And the reason I have Amber and Annette on today is because both of my podcasts deal with things that kind of just cross over and just completely relate to Amber. And one of them is this whole idea of being a mompreneur. She's been a mompreneur for a very long time. And the other thing is just dealing with people who are kind of stuck in these toxic relationships. And I never thought that would apply to you in any way. But as we chatted about a couple of weeks ago, your story unfolded and I was already so impressed by you. And I just have to tell everyone that, Amber is a business and psychic medium, a life and business psychic medium. And I stumbled across her Facebook Lives, and I was just so drawn to her, and I enjoyed it. I listened to one of yours. I listened because I was doing dishes, not watching, probably like 5 times. And I shared all these different people, and I wrote notes. Here's why you need to listen to this. And then I found you and asked you, and thankfully we connected. So I'm already a big fan. But I'm hoping that people pop on and ask you questions, but I would love for those
that are popping on, do not hold back. This is going to be one of the most interactive interviews you've ever watched or been a part of. So type in your questions, whether it's on life or business, let's tap in, don't hold back. That's what this is all about. So for sure.
We've got 3 people on already. People, feel free to send in your comments as they arise. And so Amber, let's hear your story. How did you become a mom and an entrepreneur? Tell me about that.
Where do you want me to start?
It's up to you. You can also just say kind of what you do, but I feel like this evolution is just so extraordinary,
Hold on. Can you hear that squeaking in the background? My dog is like,
it's okay.
If it gets annoying, I might just have to go like get her like squeaky toys away from her.
I can hear it. I honestly can hear it.
I have to I love bringing my dog to work with me, but then sometimes when I do like podcast interviews or stuff like that, she's like squeaking in the background, So anyways. So this right now, so yes, I'm a life and business psychic medium, which really means that I take a really unique and creative approach to the way that I work with entrepreneurs in both their life and in their business. So about 4 years ago, almost now, is when I really uncovered that I had like these gifts as a psychic medium. And I already had this like business background. I was in the financial services industry for about 15 years, loved everything sales and business development. And basically what's happened is I've found this beautiful way to blend both of those worlds. So blend my business acumen along with my gifts as a psychic medium and just be able to be this like clear creative channel for businesses that are looking for something unique, something new, something fresh that allows them to show up in their business in a bigger, bolder, beautiful way.
Awesome.
Love it. Yeah, I love it. It's been a great journey. I've enjoyed every single second, the peaks, the valleys, the lows, the highs, like all of it. I've learned so much. I've been able to sustain a full-time business, being a full-time entrepreneur for almost 3 years. I have 4 kids, so I totally...
What are their ages now? What are their, like how littles?
Yes. So our kids range from 3, we have a 3-year-old, we have a 9-year-old, we have an 18-year-old, and we have a 22-year-old. So yeah, for sure. Like on the same day we announced we were pregnant, my daughter started college, my son started high school, and my son started kindergarten, and we announced we were pregnant all on the same day.
Wow.
Like, that really puts things in like perspective, like what my house is like, right?
All over the place.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
It's great. That explains why you have that office away from home. Totally.
Yeah. I don't think I could get anything, I don't think I could get anything done. Like, that's for sure.
Right.
Hey, Bonnie, thanks for tapping in, sister. Pumped you're here.
Bonnie's here.
Send your questions in.
Yeah, Bonnie, do you have a question for Amber? Questions. We got to get this going.
I love sharing my story, but I also love being in my gift, which is giving that guidance and giving those messages from the universe. So for sure, make sure if you're watching, do not be shy. You have a question, you want to see if I'm a real deal. Send it on in for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's start back to your beginning. Here's Carrie. Carrie says hello.
Hi, Carrie.
Yeah. So let's hear about that. Like your upbringing.
Yeah. This is a side that I like I was kind of telling you in our first connection call, it just kind of started coming out of me that I've never really shared before. And it's how young, my journey really started. Which is when I became a mom, and it's when I was 14. So a lot of people don't know that side of me. They don't know that story. They don't know what I grew up in a pretty dysfunctional family, pretty dysfunctional home. And like most teenage girls, the way that, when there's turmoil at home, when there's that dysfunction, they usually reach out and drugs, alcohol, or sex. And that's what happened to me. And I got pregnant when I was 13 and had my daughter, my 22-year-old daughter, when I was 14. And man, I got to tell you, even at such a young age, I felt just this calling to be a good mom. I just wanted to be a good mom. I wanted to make sure she was cared for and provided for. And, I made the choice at a very young age, obviously, to keep her and to not do the adoption route or, choose any other alternatives. And it's been amazing. It worked out for me. And I really feel it worked out for me because I had that drive to make it work out for me and her. I had something bigger than just doing it for myself. It was something bigger. So
yeah, that sounds like you're really motivated by not like creating something different than what you had experienced, which is
yeah.
I know you like questions, so I want to keep going with this, but we do have a couple questions here. And
let's see I can't see the questions, so if you
first
can, let me know for sure.
Stacy says, "Do you guide people personally?" Haha, I'm lost how it works. Stacy is my cousin, my little cousin.
Oh, interesting. Hi, Stacy. Nice to meet you. Great question. So let's give the definition of a psychic medium, right? So there's really two different pieces. So being psychic is where I absolutely show up as a guide. I have this gift to be able to read like the current path you're on and to see possibilities for you and to use my gift of being able to read your energy field to give you messages and guidance that is really going to inspire you and empower you to like go in the direction that you want to go, into the direction that you desire. I don't ever tell people like what they should be doing, or like I don't ever deliver like the dark stuff or the bad stuff. I deliver my messages and my guidance in a way that really motivates you and drives you to want to like either A, make changes if they need to happen, if where you're at isn't aligned with what you desire, and then B, really just help you see that big vision for yourself, like the biggest, best, boldest version of you that you ultimately truly dream about. And together we co-create like what are the best things for you to do to go make that happen for your life. So hopefully that kind of helps a little bit. I don't use tarot cards. I mean, I like use them for myself, and I actually have my own deck of them. But like I don't like read cards for people. Like my mom actually asked me one time, she's like, "So do you have a crystal ball?" I was like, "Oh my God, Mom, no, that's not how this works." Like it's definitely that empowered life coaching, except I allow the universe and your guides and spirit and angels to come to me and through me for you. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, and you're also pretty big on helping people connect within themselves and listen, right? Like that's
like I've been saying, like I want to be so good at what I do that I put myself out of business, which is like teaching women how to be so connected with themselves. Like know like how to connect with the universe, know how to connect with their guide, their God, or like whatever it is that they believe in, that like you don't need a psychic anymore. You don't need somebody to read that energy because you feel so strong and clear and true about the direction that you're going. So it's kind of like a joke. I don't really mean it, universe, but like put myself out of business in a way, like be so good at what I do, boom, that you don't need me anymore. That's when I know I've done my job. It's when like at the end of our like 3 months we work together, at the end of whatever, you're like, I got this. I'm going to go crush this. Thank you, Amber. This was amazing. But like, I'm out, like I got what I needed, and they can move on and like live fearlessly and create exactly it is what they desire. So
that's awesome. And that's so Nessa wrote, how can we connect better with our inner guidance? And I know you.
Yeah. So I think the first thing, Nessa, is it has to be non-negotiable for you to not be connected. Like you have to not be connected. You know what I mean? So like it is a non-negotiable for me. Every single day I have coffee with the universe where I get my journal out, I get my favorite pens out, I get my coffee, my MacBook gets shut down, my phone gets shut out. And I give this sacred space to listen, to meditate, to feel something bigger than myself that I'm connected to. And that is a non-negotiable for me. I have to, that fuels me, that fires me, that drives me every single day. So the days that I don't do it, or like my morning starts off wonky and like all of a sudden like, I have to go straight into my client call, what do you think happens to the rest of my day? Like, wah, wah. Like the rest of the day kind of goes like that. So you have to have a non-negotiable like ritual or routine where you're connected to your soul, your higher self, the universe, whatever label feels good for you, and make that a non-negotiable. Get your daily to-do list from the universe. I mean, really is what it is. So that's number one. So that's a great way to start connecting within. Number two is, as humans, we really want this like validation, right? Like we really want to know that there's something bigger with us, or that we're heading in the right direction. Like that's probably the most common question I get is like, am I on the right path? Well, the universe is showing you signs all day long. It's giving you what I call cues from the U all day long. These little signs, these little symbols, these little, like a butterfly fly. Well, that's really interesting. It's not just interesting, it's divinely designed at that moment to come to you. Raise your, you're going in the right direction, keep going. And like so often we just chalk it up to coincidence, or we're just like, I don't know. The clock says 111, but I don't know if that really means anything. Yes, it does. So look for those cues from the U every single day, because they're there to like boost you and to let you know that you're definitely like heading towards what you desire. So I would say starting with a couple of those things, which you can do instantly. Like you can do like like as soon as we're off of here, like go on a scavenger hunt and find as many like little signs from the universe as you possibly can. Mic drop.
And then, so the thing is to see those things, but then what do you do to make sense of them? So what if somebody's seeing butterflies, or in my case, I keep seeing turkeys.
Yeah. You don't have to like make anything of it, anything more than like an emotion. Like what emotion is it evoking from you? So like for me, I love seeing all those things. I love like, oh my gosh, like I get them all day long. I get license plates. And that's not just because I'm psychic. Like this stuff shows up for you just as much as it does for me. But what happens is in the moment, I'm super aware of it. And I love to give like, oh yeah, send me more signs, please. I got it. Like it's not uncommon for me to like, I'll be with my friends and we'll be doing something. I'm like, yes, thank you. And they're like, who are you talking to? Like, who are you speaking to? And I'm like, oh, the universe. Like, didn't you just see that like dragonfly like come and land on my watch? Like, they're like, how does all this like magical stuff happen to you? And it's because I'm aware of it and I'm so thankful for it. So for sure, like see it and then give gratitude to it.
I love that.
Yeah.
So Bonnie also has a question. She says, I'm dying to hear the psychic stuff. Do you think women have this ability more than men?
Good question. In my experience, the realm that I'm in, that sounds like I'm like on like Game of Thrones or something. Like the online space that I'm in, like the women that I work with, like everything is women. And I think it's just that we're naturally more open, we're more intuitive, we're more sensitive. It's just the way that like women and men are programmed and like are like the biology behind it. It just is like a man's cycle resets like every 24 hours. Like ours is like a 28-day cycle. Like there's so many differences between men and women. So I do feel like women are more open. I don't know that they have the ability more than men, but they're open to spirituality, to woo-woo, like whatever label you want to throw on it. But that's definitely my experience for sure.
Wow. Yeah, and so like with your group, or you know, for the people you're working with, or somebody who's not maybe, so with somebody who's not, sorry, let me fix this a little bit here. With somebody who's not as perhaps, you know, inclined toward the woo-woo, as you would say, like what do you do with those people who are definitely interested enough to be watching this right now with curiosity? What can they do to kind of tap into that thought, that feeling, whatever? Like, what do you say to those people? They're skeptical probably, but they're leaning.
I think the thing is like, first of all, if you're watching this, like it's not a coincidence, you know. Second of all, like things that like make us hungry, things that spark that curiosity, like that's what we're looking for. That's what we should be looking for, is what makes you lean in. Even if you're a little skeptical, like you want to hear more, but like what makes you lean in a little bit more? What makes you a little bit more curious. I'm a little bit hungry for more information. Because what I find is that hunger, that curiosity, it usually leads to something that you're going to become really passionate about, something that it just blows doors open for you. You just all of a sudden become like addicted and fascinated by it, and you want to learn more about it, and you want to go to classes and workshops, and what books can I read? It usually is leading you somewhere when that spark gets started. And once something like totally becomes like your passion and you're like just all in, it's going to lead you to where it becomes your purpose. I really, really believe that. So that's what you're looking for, or whether it's spirituality or psychic readings or whatever it is. Like, what makes you lean in a little bit more and start a spark? Leading you somewhere.
Well, and one of the things that I see, and so this is also showing up on my personal page, so people are probably like, what is this about? They may not know how woo-woo I can be yet. But what I see with this realm of women who are entrepreneurs is that we get a ton of thoughts. We don't, like, it's like this, I say it's like a ping pong ball in my head, right? Like, kind of be all over the map. And you want to slow down and kind of find that clarity so you know which way to go next, if they're business ideas, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So that's why I love that people like you exist, for one thing, because sometimes the noise level and the chaos or whatever in your head, try as you might, it's dissonance, right? So you're trying to cut through that. So I don't know what my point is. My point is, like, I think that there's definitely a reason why we reach out to you and are drawn toward you. And I think part of it is that we're idea people. We are tuned into a lot, and we're saying, oh, maybe I should do something with that, or what about that? So how do you know the difference between something that's just some idea and something that really is pulling you? You kind of just said it, but maybe you can.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Big ideas need a big strategy. And that's definitely my zone of genius, is being able to put that creative, soulful strategy to your ideas, to your gifts, to your calling, to your purpose. You need a strategy to be able to get it out there into the world. You need, you want your ideas to be very grounded and have that plan and have that strategy, but still stay open to the universe to say, hey, yes, and try this. Yes, and go here. Yes, and, like, maybe you should go to that networking event today. Maybe you should send an email today. Like, still being open to, like, I'm telling you, like, I've done very well with my business, and my to-do list comes every single day from the universe. It's not predetermined. It's not, of course I have like the things that I know I need to do. Like, I need to follow up with this client. I need to do that. But the things for me and for my ideas and my business, like, that comes from the universe every day. Like, the universe is my CEO.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the other thing that I wanted to say is, when I was talking about you, is your, kind of your background. And, like you said earlier, if people have tuned in late, she mentioned that she found herself, with child age 14. You're in this kind of not so functional, dysfunctional family. And then you found a way. So tell us a little bit of how you just kind of pulled yourself out of that, because I was really inspired when we talked. I mean, you told me some amazing things about yourself.
Yeah. So I lived in a really small, like, town in Missouri when I had my child, which is like prime, like, Bible Belt. And it was brutal. It was brutal living there. The people were brutal to me. I was young. I was pregnant. I was obviously not married. And I just knew I had to, like, get out of there as quickly as possible. And so what ended up happening is I took my daughter and I moved up here with my brother in Minnesota. And very quickly I ended up pregnant again. Like, I still hadn't figured it out. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I literally couldn't believe I was pregnant again. I couldn't believe that like God did that to me again. I couldn't believe, like, even though I knew how it works, I knew what happened. Like, I literally didn't think God was going to let me get pregnant again. And I did. And again, decided to like have that child and dropped out of school, got my GED, got my GED by, I think I was 17 when I got my GED. And I started working in retail. And I just had this like drive to like go to work every day and do the best I could do and show up on time. And it paid off because they promoted me to like a coordinator position. Like, and I was like, I remember like I was so proud of myself for like getting promoted from like a sales associate to like a coordinator. You know, it was like such a big deal to me. Right. And it just, and then I wanted to get to that assistant manager level. Like then I just kept like having this like energy and this drive to like, what's my next level? Now what's my next level? Like I've had that since I was so young. I mean, I remember like I was a waitress. I was a car hop at Sonic Drive-In. That was my very first job. And I wanted to be like the best car hop and have like the most tips every single day. Like it's just always been who I am and what I've wanted to do. And like, it's like, how do I just keep pushing myself? So when I ended up with 2 kids by the time I was 17, something clicked for me at a very young age. And I just decided like, I am not going to be a statistic. I'm not going to be a number. I'm going to work really hard. And I did. And so I was at this retail position and I'd worked my way up to like an assistant manager. And I saw an ad in the paper. This was like before like Indeed.com or any of those things. And I saw this ad in the paper for a bank and they were looking for an assistant manager of sales. And I'd always been good in sales. Like that's what I'd done in retail. And something just like literally was calling to me about it. And I applied for it and I got an interview for it. And I blew these 2 women away in this interview and just was like, give me a chance. I promise you, give me 90 days. I will like I just really showed up at 18 years old to this interview. Like, I want this job. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget it. Her name was Sue Jacobson. And she called me back a little bit later that day and she said, I'm going to give you a shot. I'm going to give you a shot. And I just ran with that opportunity. And I ended up working myself all the way up to assistant vice president. Wow. In a matter of like 8 years.
You're 17? Were you 17 when you went in?
I was 18 when I started working there. And and I worked my way all the way up to assistant vice president. It was amazing. I mean, like she gave me that chance. She knew she was taking, she knew it. Like she knew it. She knew I was young. I remember like we would go out to these like work functions and nobody knew how old I was. I never told anybody. And I was always so scared that like they were going to be like, oh, why aren't you drinking? You know what I mean? Like, but it was because I wasn't even 21. I couldn't even get a drink from these, you know, like I couldn't even go out. I was like so stressing about things like that, you know? And gosh, I just worked really, really hard. I like showed up on time. I worked extra hours. I closed deals. I like made stuff happen. I was hungry to learn. I actually ended up buying my first house when I was 20. I was able to like, I was 20. I'll never forget. I closed on like, it was like January 25th and I turned 21 like February 10th. So it was like 15 days before I turned 21. I bought my first house. Like awesome. I just had this drive and it was amazing. I mean, it's like, it's never gone away. Like I've never lost that. I've always wanted to know like what's around the corner, what's next? How do I grow? How do I expand? How do I keep going? And, it served me well. And now I inspire my clients to do the same, to like stay hungry for what's around the bend.
Yeah. So how do you do that? So this is the thing. So it sounds like, and when we talked, whatever it was, a couple of weeks ago, you were talking about your family and addiction and, you know, like your addiction is like success and being driven to move yourself forward essentially, which is a very positive addiction. But if you're somebody who's not motivated by money, and you're more of a helper type person, What do you say? I'm sure that you coach people like that all the time who are just like, I don't know, money's over here. And
we all have something. We all have something that will motivate us. We all have something. For some people, it's money. For some people, it's, maybe success. For some people, it might just be to be of service. We all have something. And that's where you have to know, you have to know your why. That's why your why is important, know why your why is important to you. Because when you do have those, I call them my valley moments, right? I talk a lot about, with the women that I work with, I always talk about how entrepreneurship is like mountain, climbing a mountain, climbing a mountain, climbing a mountain, climbing a mountain. You're going up, sometimes you're at a really steep point of valley. I talk about mountain climbing all the time. And it never fails. I get to the top of that mountain and my favorite, next mountain, please. I immediately want my next mountain. I want to reflect. I want to look down. I want to see how far I've come. I want to feel a moment of gratitude, but I'm already looking for my next mountain. So I talk a lot about mountain climbing of entrepreneurship. And so I think it's it's knowing what's at the top of your mountain for you. It's knowing what is your why. It's knowing that, being locked into that in those low valley moments. You know what I mean? When things are stuck, things aren't working, your Facebook ad's not working, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Why am I doing this? You've got to be able in that moment to be yes, I remember now. Yes, I remember now. That's why I'm climbing this mountain. Know why you're climbing your mountain.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah. Wow. So it's the anchor thing. What's that thing that just kind of clicks it all back for you when you forget? Yeah.
You don't have to have just one why. I think we get really stuck in messaging and all of this. You don't have to I have multiple whys that push me up my mountain. I love my clients, seeing them have success, seeing them have their breakthroughs, that's a big why for me. Being able to go buy my new boat at the beginning of the summer and go wake surfing, that was a big why for me. Don't judge yourself for your whys. I think a lot of times we think, well, it's just because I want to be a philanthropist and I want to take care of kids that are hungry. Those are great things. Don't get me wrong, but don't be afraid to be my why is I want to have a shit ton of money in the bank. Good for you, girl. There's nothing wrong with your why. And yet we are so quick to judge ourselves for why we want why we want it. Right. Don't care. Want what you want and make it a big piece of your why. And you'll be it'll drive you more to want it. Give yourself permission to want what you want.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, want what you want. Who cares what everybody else is thinking? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Some questions here. Lots of
questions from our viewers.
Team Woo.
Yes, Andrea.
Yeah.
Although it's really funny is I don't consider myself woo-woo. Isn't that funny? I really don't, because I'm so when it comes to strategy and business and the activities and being grounded and really organized and pretty organized, but I'm very grounded in my business. You know what I mean? And I think I don't use like I said, I don't use cards, I don't use crystals and rocks and all of that kind of stuff. I just that's not, I don't need those things. I literally talk to spirit. I literally just talk straight to the universe, and that's not woo-woo to me. Right. That's normal to me. That needs to be our normal. That needs to not be no more woo-woo. No, that's normal. It's normal to talk to the universe. It's normal to talk to spirit. It's normal to want to be connected to your soul. That's not woo-woo. That's normal. That we need to make that our normal.
I agree with you. I see myself
no more woo.
Only use woo when I think I'm around people who might not get the spiritual piece of it, and I'm perpetuating it by saying woo woo. So that's a really good point.
Hashtag no more woo woo.
Ditch the woo-woo. Just
Yes.
see.
Ditch the inner woo. Like, just like be you.
Right.
Ditch the woo, be you. See, I could come up with shit all
That's a pampa sticker. Love it.
Yeah.
So do you guys have questions? So what kind of questions are you looking for, Amber? I know that you love answering questions and
So there's a couple things that I'm really good at. And first and foremost, it's being a medium, both like being a business medium. So really connecting people to big visions, maybe like their beliefs holding them back. Maybe it's, stuck in direction to go. Why aren't things working? Why aren't things selling? I can usually just lock in and like be able to read the energy of your business. So love doing, if it's something for life, if there's like something you're pondering, like what's up with my relationship? Like, I can usually tap in like to make this desire manifest.
okay.
So those kinds of things.
You're chopping up a little bit. I don't know if it's your yeah. I think we got you though.
Oh, bummer.
Andrea says, like people that all right, yes, ask now, Stacy, if you have a question. Stacy has her own business. She works, but she also has her own business as a photographer. Stacy,
very cool.
Question. Ask away, my dear.
Yeah, keep them firing.
Oh,
I can't read any of these, so you'll have to read them out loud.
okay. Yes, go ahead. So Stacy's not. Stacy, Andrea, I'm not letting me see any real questions here. Let's see, and then, okay. Stacy says, I'll just show it. She's been wanting to write a book about anxiety. Is this a good path for her?
So I see another step coming before that for you, Stacy. I feel like you need to be talking on stages, telling your story a little bit more. And when you're telling that story from the stage or in conversations like this or on podcast interviews or whatever it is, I want you to get that content and is really going to become your. So I don't see you being able to like sit busy, a lot of things going on. You keep your calendar like pretty jam-packed full, it feels like. So use your voice and your message and your connection and like speaking opportunities like that to like build up content for your book. Questions from the audience, like those are great. Like that tells you like what content to include in that book, all of those kinds of things. And I feel like also like really researching a little bit more, like, I'm not sure if this is for you or if this is like your ideal reader or who you used to be, but it feels like the word introvert is coming in really strongly also. So is this something like specifically anxiety as an introvert? That. So let me know how that feels for you, but you're going to get most of your content speaking, not just sitting and writing a book.
That is awesome. Nice. So, yeah, so Stacy, I don't know if you want to say anything else about that, but Wendy also has a question.
Okay.
She is saying, when will I leave a retail job for full-time direct sales?
Love it. Love direct sales. It bothers me so much that the direct sales business, the MLMs, really bugs me more than anything. So first and foremost, like those are my people. Like I work with a lot of like Young Living, Arbonne, like all of these like conscious direct sales companies. So I would love to know, Wendy, like what company is it? First of all, I'm going to help you tap in a little bit more to that market. I can give you some ideas. I don't see that you have an exit strategy. I don't see that you really believe in leaving your retail job for full time. What I would love for you to do is think about like if you're working retail, are you working full time? Could you create in your business with 40 hours? Like, that was my big strategy. And I was actually working like 50 plus hours a week. And I kind of planning that out and mapping that out. How am I going to fill my day? Because what happens a lot of times is we become like entrepreneurs or full-time business owners, and we're like, okay, well, now what do I do? So start filling your voids, filling your calendar right now as much as you can. Like, you should be jam-packed full. I remember leaving my corporate career. I would work there all day, and then I would come home and I would do, like, after the kids would go to bed, I would do a couple of late night, like, business readings for people. Like, I was so jam-packed full making that transition. Like, that was my exit strategy of, like, building my business so that when I did exit, it wasn't, like, so painful. So come up with an exit strategy that feels good, that feels believable. I feel like there's some work to do on your part. I would love to, if you're so, like, I would like to know.
Okay. That's great advice. I love that. That's inspiring me. So I just wanted to show you Stacy's response, because you said she should speak on stage and get feedback from other people. You were cutting in and out a little bit, but I think that essentially you were saying she's not going to just sit down and write a book, that she's going to maybe go speak, share her story. And Stacy, that means like any size of audience, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a massive audience. It could be someplace local. But she says, yeah, she wants to get different people's stories and combine them for a book. And she says, oh yeah, I'm an introvert. And her calendar's jam-packed. Yeah, her calendar is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's see. There are quite a few questions here, actually. So the next question was, Susan is getting ready to move herself and her business to a new location. She's turning 50. Is it time to stay local or take a wild ride?
Always go for the wild ride. Always. I'm looking at your picture, Susan. Like, why would you choose anything other than a wild ride? That's my question to you. Like, plus you're turning 50. Like, this is like a prime recipe for like high vibes, high playing, enjoying, experiencing, expanding. Like, absolutely. Always go. Say yes. Like, I don't know. There's like that book out there. I just started reading it. Like, The Year of Yes. Like, that's the energy that I want you and Susan, is like saying yes more, being and just enjoying this experience. And we have this like really, because we're taught at such this young age, like, you have to work hard, you have to do. And then when you work really hard, you're going to be rewarded. And that's not it at all. It's when you feel really good, when you feel you're so happy and like, that's why you're feeling, not because of like how hard you're feeling all along the. So taking that wild ride is going to feel so fun, free, playful. Like, like, girl, if you can like go on a wild ride as a gypsy for a little bit, always go gypsy for sure.
I totally agree with that. I know Susan pretty well. I love that. Love it. Okay, I will pick another one here. So we have quite a few questions. Let's see. The next one that we had here was, I might pronounce your name wrong. It's Janavi, I think. Contemplating letting go of a direct sales business, but finding it hard to step away completely as I have FOMO on the passive income that comes from it. Will it be in my best interest to pursue something else?
So what I feel like you really want to be doing like women empowerment coaching, something in more like the creative online coaching space. You have to let go of your direct sales business, because I do like that passive income for you. but let it be complementary to what you really want to be doing, which feels like more of like service based, but like more, you are your brand, you are your business. It's not the direct sales anymore. But how can you like do a little bit of both? Like, how can you transition out of that, but let that passive income stream still come to you is really the question. So I don't think it needs to completely go away yet. And I don't think that you have to keep doing it the way that like maybe your upline is telling you to do it. Like, do it when it feels good, do it when you're inspired, do it from a different place than the way that they're like training you to be like a robot and do it the way everybody else in the direct sales business is doing it. You've got to find your way to do it. And then it's not going to feel like you need to let it go or anything, because you're going to be like really fired up to do it because you're doing it your way. But it's definitely helped you transition into seeing that you want to be your business.
Oh, I love it. That's such great advice, especially on the her way thing. Wow, that is so many of us need to take that advice. All right, so Andrea also has a question. She says, part of me wants to give up every day. The other part has this belief that some big magic opportunity is going to come my way. How do you know the difference between foolish and optimism? What a great question. I love that.
Great question. And I don't think there is a difference between the two of them. I really don't. I like one of my favorite, like, I know this probably sounds like a little out there, but one of my favorite guides that I channel is Steve Jobs. Like, I get some of my greatest, like, when I can, like, I tap into his energy. Like, I just do. I just have that. And he says all the time, like, stay foolish and stay hungry, because that fuels the optimism, that fuels the curiosity, that fuels that passion, like that gets things stirring for you. And that's what you want to find. You want to tap into like what starts that spark, what stirs your soul, what shakes it up. And so don't try to differentiate between the two of them. When it feels fun, and like some of the things that I've like stumbled across, like, to some people, it might seem foolish. It might seem like irresponsible, but it's actually the best thing I could have ever done for my business, because that everything is a vibration. Everything is a feeling for you. And sometimes those like foolish, silly things are what makes us like laugh and giggle and have fun and forget about the part of you that wants to give up. You know, like those foolish things might be the part of you that like keeps you going. So don't, just because it seems like foolish or silly, who cares? Does it light you up? Does it make you smile? That's what you want to be leaning more into. And as far as like when you want to give up. So I think the best advice I could give you, I've been working with this a lot lately, is go to like this acronym FAST, F-A-S-T. And number one is feel in your body. Like your body is going to tell you when you're out of alignment, when you're not heading towards what you want, when something is wrong, when like you're not in alignment with your desire, right? Your body is going to like show you by giving you some type of discomfort. So you might feel it in your chest, like you might kind of feel like heaviness there. You might get a headache. You might like feel it in your back, but your body is going to tell you. So first of all, for the F, it's feel it. Feel it in your body. Once you feel it, you can become aware of it. And once you are aware of what you're feeling, you are in the position to S, which is shift it. You can instantly shift it. You don't have to stay stuck in it. You're not in this freaking feeling it because it's from your past life or any shit like that. Like, so you're going to feel it. You're going to become aware of it. You're going to shift it. And then I want you to have a moment where you're thankful for it. Our bodies are so divinely designed and programmed to tell us when we are not heading towards what we want. So think of that acronym each and every time. And like, what can you do to shift yourself in the moment? Like, I call mine my light level. Like when things aren't when things are feeling in a funk, I totally go to my light level list. Like, what can I do that's going to make me feel a little bit better? So maybe like for me, I love, love, love to color. I love to take showers. I love to go swimming. I love to meditate. I love to watch Abraham Hicks videos on YouTube. I love to create content. I love to go out to eat. Like, make your list of things that can help you make that shift quickly and get out of the funk. There's no reason to stay in there and stay stuck in it.
Yes. Thanks, Bonnie.
Yes, Bonnie. That looks so pretty, and I love the little hearts by it. It's so good, right? Like, yeah.
So Carla has a question too, and I know you probably need to wrap up soon, and I want you to share with people what you have coming up in a program you mentioned.
Yeah.
So Carla's question is, her business is taking a turn and she's making an impact on thousands of people. She says, will this continue?
Not only is it going to continue, but it's going to expand. I feel like the next thing for you is more collaborations. That's coming up. More collaborations. Like, that just comes in. Like, be open. And I also feel like being open to some support and some help in the expansion. A lot of times we think we have to do it all ourselves. We have to push. We have to make it happen. We have to push through. We have to come up with everything. And it's time for you to allow and to receive some support. Oprah did not get to where she got by herself. Nobody, Tony Robbins, like all of those like people, right? Like, they did not get to where they are by themselves. Watch that like Tony Robbins documentary. Like, his team is massive. He does not do it. He does not do it by himself. Carla, you do not need to be doing this by yourself. If you want to grow, you want to expand, you need more support in your team. And you might need a really good business coach.
Ah, there you go. There's your business coach.
Maybe you have to take it. Yeah. I've been a lot.
Yeah. She had a question that you answered, which was just about the man in her life who's being very supportive. It sounds like she should have that. She needs to, hang on to that.
Support us. They should be supporting us.
Yeah.
Way right now.
All right. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about what you have coming up, Amber.
So I would just like to invite all listeners to join me. It's like a totally free virtual online program called Create Your Calling. Each day we're going to have alignment assignments, 30 days of alignment assignments. I'm going to be doing like little on the spot mini readings for people. We have a weekly group call, really helping women connect into what their calling is and create a lifestyle and business based on their calling and their purpose and their gifts and their passions. So totally free, super excited. We start on August 21st, so definitely have time to register. And I think the link, yep, you got the link right there. Your calling is calling. Yeah.
Your calling is calling. I love that. So yeah. This is really tough to read, you guys. I don't know if you can see it. If you're on mobile, it's probably impossible. So this is your main AmberAnnette.com. Yeah. I'm sure it's linked from there too.
Yeah. It's not, but that's a great point that I should probably have that on my website.
Okay. That wasn't on your to-do list from the universe yet. So
I'll take that from you though, because like the universe works through lots of people for us. So don't ever shoot down something somebody says to you. The universe is always working through other people for us. So
yeah, right. Exactly. Well, so the other thing I just wanted to say is that you were talking about things that you feel, really excited about, and the energy is positive. And I know you had something like that, and that was your calling to do a podcast, right? So
yeah.
Is that up and running and live yet or not yet?
It is. It's up. I'm actually doing it through Blog Talk Radio. So it's actually a weekly radio show. Yeah, it's up.
We'll put the link in here if it's up.
Yeah, it's up. I'm not sure where it's going in a completely different direction than what I thought. Like, I mean, I've literally only had like one episode, and so I'm not really sure. We'll see what happens with it. It'll grow and expand, but yeah, it is up.
Cool. Well, kudos to you for getting that going. I'm excited. I'm going to be one of your big fans listening for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I will put a lot of the stuff in
this was Awesome. This was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. And I'm so glad people were here to ask us some great questions. I know most of these people, and it's amazing. Some of your advice, I think, is just so
That's awesome.
insightful and just very spot on. So not surprising.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you to everybody who had a question, and looking forward to connect more for sure. So
yeah, go check out Amber at amberannette.com. And what is the best way on Facebook to connect with you, since most people are already on Facebook? How should
definitely come and join my Facebook group, which is Coffee with the Universe. You can just type it in the search chat, Coffee with the Universe. So that's the name of my Facebook group. Okay. And then Amber Annette is my Facebook business page.
Coffee with the Universe. And she does some great Facebook Lives from that.
Yeah.
Is that what day of the week do you do that?
Every Thursday. So tomorrow morning, every Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time.
Okay. 10 a.m. Central. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Coffee with the Universe. I love that. Cool.
Thank you so much. This was great. Looking forward to more connecting with you in the future. And thanks to all your watchers, all your viewers.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks you guys.
Join Steph on Twitter at StephGetsSocial. Interested in joining a community of mamas like you? Check out the Audacious Mamas Facebook group. Need some help with social strategy or video marketing? Reach out to Steph at StephanieRoberts.com. That's Stephanie with an I, no E. Or call 617-657-4441.